More Vice Chair of the House Democratic Caucus, Congressman Ted Lieu of California. Congressman, thanks for being here. You were there last night. You were there yesterday. A member of this caucus, obviously, who has some thoughts and some insights on what the plan is over the next couple of years here. So what will you be focused on? What will Democrats be focused on in the next 2 years to try to win back the House, given that you have leadership, and we've seen some of these committees now drilling down onto things like the weaponization of the FBI, to use their term, things like disinformation during COVID that we heard yesterday, when you had Democrats rebutting and saying, okay, let's talk about disinformation from the former president during COVID. What is your message, though, to win back the House?
Thank you for your question. Two things. So first, President Biden was fantastic last night, and he reminded us of the amazing work his administration and House Democrats did last term. We put people over politics and passed a series of transformative laws to help the American family, such as the infrastructure law. While Democrats are helping rebuild roads, bridges, and highways, what are Republicans focused on? And here's the second thing. They spent enormous congressional resources to do a congressional hearing to complain about Twitter. So we're going to be talking about how we implement the amazing laws that Democrats pass, and then drawing a contrast with extreme MAGA Republicans who are focused on issues that the American people really don't care about right now.
Morning, Congressman. The president's going to release his budget next week. He's called for Speaker McCarthy to put his proposal out as well. And certainly this comes as a fight looms over the debt ceiling. I know the president spoke about that yesterday. He will again today when he meets with Senate Democrats. How worried are you, though, looking at your colleagues across the aisle, that they will be willing to play partisan politics with the debt ceiling and potentially send the nation hurtling over the cliff?
I'm very worried and disturbed. It is flat out unpatriotic and un-American to say we're going to risk defaulting on our debts. The full faith and credit of the United States of America should never, ever be questioned, and it is highly disturbing Republicans are doing this. And why are they doing this? They want to extract cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Republican Senator Ron Johnson has called Social Security wrongfully a Ponzi scheme. Republican Rick Scott wants to eliminate all federal programs in 5 years, including Social Security and Medicare, unless Congress reauthorizes it. So that's where the Republican Party is headed, and Democrats are going to stop it.
Congressman, politics has changed enormously over the last 10 years, and it's now largely a visual art. People hear about or see things on their phones, their iPads. Yesterday was a fairly significant day, I would think, in politics due to Eli Lilly's pronouncement that they're going to reduce the cost of insulin and cap it at $35. Some would point out that they did this under pressure from President Biden pushing such a move and mentioning it in the State of the Union and things like that. And yet it didn't get much of a ripple effect. You know, it was out there as news yesterday and everything like that, but it has an enormous impact on millions of Americans who view politics through what they see. Bridges being built, construction underway, and insulin costs reduced. How do you capitalize on the visual things about politics?
That's a great question, and in this case, we just have to keep repeating to the American people what actually happened, which is that Democrats passed a law, the Inflation Reduction Act, that capped insulin at $35 for Medicare recipients. And now Eli Lilly, seeing this, has decided to follow suit under pressure from the Biden administration, and they're doing it for all recipients. And as a result, we're going to save the American people a lot of money who need to use insulin, and it's something we have to keep repeating over and over again. But these folks are also going to see it in their monthly costs. They're going to see that their costs have been lowered, that they have to pay less for insulin now because of what Democrats and the Biden administration did.
All right. Congressman Ted Lieu, thank you very much for being on this morning. We appreciate it.